Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and build family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health as well as education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan, support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday. We actually have a thought piece scheduled to drop this upcoming Sunday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you're looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we have provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And this topic of discussion today is mental wellness. And on the topic of mental wellness, this is part 2 of our series on being unapologetic. And in this segment, we're going to be talking about ways to be unapologetic when we do not align to people's expectations. And I think so many of us feel affronted when we are confronted with people who are angry, who are bitter, and who are triggered because we weren't exactly who they expected us to be. And I think that rather than feel inclined to bend and conform and accommodate the box that people want to put us in, which is often significantly smaller than the space that we typically take up, I think it's time to really rise to the occasion and not allow ourselves to shrink back by the intimidation that other people feel. That is not our problem, that is not our burden to carry, and I think the more that we push back and are unapologetic about the ways that we are different and the ways that we shock and surprise the people who expect it differently from us, the more we give them the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to recognize that they're not always right. And I think too many people feel inclined to be very destructive and to be very just off the wall when they find that they're not right, and that's because too many people accommodated them in the past. So let's just jump right into it. And so the first one I want to talk about what we need to be unapologetic is by the fact that we're not easily manipulated. And I think the more that we focus on authenticity, on being unapologetically ourselves, the more we're going to be very difficult to manipulate and control, because to manipulate and control someone means that that person feels a little uncertain, a little insecure about who they are, so they're going to bend and accommodate in ways that they shouldn't. And so as we figure out this journey of healing, this journey of self-discovery, of really embracing self-identity, the more you do that, the more you align to your authentic self, the less you are susceptible to being manipulated, to being controlled by others, and that's going to drive some people in your life off the wall. They're going to go off the wall because they liked manipulating and controlling the version of you who still wasn't quite sure about themselves or wasn't quite sure about their value or where they stood. And I think that is very important that when you meet people who start to act up and act out because you're not playing the role that they expected you to. Even when you didn't realize you were playing the role to begin with, it's just that you're growing, you're evolving, and that's triggering to some people. That is not something that you need to apologize for. And in 2024, the people that you find are triggered by your growth, triggered by your evolution, triggered by your goals, by your aspirations, by the ways that you show up differently that make you take up space in the way that they didn't expect you to. Those are the people that need to get nixed. We put them on notice, and if they don't shift and change and modify their behavior, then they got to go. Anyone who feels inclined to be manipulative or to control you is not someone who's there because they want to support you and celebrate you. They're there for very different reasons, and we're not here to feed anyone's ego in 2024. We're not here to be anyone's doormat in 2024. And if someone sees value in you because putting themselves up against you or pitting themselves against you is something that's supposed to make them feel good about themselves, but because you're growing, you're evolving, you're shining, it's doing the opposite, then those people just need to go. They need to focus on healing and their own inner work so that they can be healthy for the people around them. The next area, the second area to be unapologetic about are your goals and aspirations. And some people are going to have their eyebrows to the ceiling because they just didn't expect someone like you to have ambitions to that extent. And I think that it's just kind of offensive, to be honest. It's like very insulting for people to feel like they have a position or a place to denigrate or to judge or to criticize someone else's aspirations. I think that, probability is always something that plays for or against anyone's favor, but it doesn't dictate that you should have no hope whatsoever. And I think anyone who feels inclined to stomp on anyone else's hope is the kind of person who I would stay far away from. But there's also the kind of people that help us grow, that help us be unapologetic about the aspirations that we have, and in the face of judgment, of criticism, of ridicule, of people who feel inclined to ridicule you because your dreams are just so much bigger than what they expected someone like you to dream about. I think that those are the kinds of people that you keep at arm's length. Their opinion does not matter, and too many times we allow the opinions of those who were never in our corner to begin with to matter and to play into the decisions that we make that bring us further away from the things that we would like to accomplish or the aspirations and the goals that we have in mind, or cause us to abandon them altogether. And so we do not want to abandon ourselves for people who want to see us abandon ourselves, because in abandoning ourselves, we're taking on the role that they want us to take. And I think we give these people way too much power when we put them in their opinion on the pedestal. And sometimes these are the people who cared for us and who are friends up until the point that you want to grow beyond what they expect of you. So I think it's important that we recognize that it's the words that people say and that they use to communicate with you that tell you how they value you, and how people value you is going to shift and change with time, right? And so as you hear their styles of communication that they feel inclined to say, let that dictate to what extent that relationship has evolved for better or for better. If it's evolving for better, then it's time to let that go. And lastly, some of the areas that we need to be unapologetic about by ways of how we show up in the world around us, it's our evolving sense of identity and how that translates by way of the evolving and shifts and changes that come by way of our values, our beliefs, and the ways that we want to show up in the world. And it's okay if we were the person who ate McDonald's every day of the week, and now we're the kind of person who wants to boycott McDonald's. Like, that is not someone who is lying to themselves. That's someone who has had an opportunity to kind of think about things and decide that that's not where they want their energy to go. It's okay to have been the kind of person who really didn't care about fitness and who ate whatever they wanted, to now shift and want to be the kind of person who cares about fitness and really be mindful about the things that you eat. It's okay to have that shift, to grow and evolve in that direction. And people who want to make you feel bad for who you were because it's a shift from who they're seeing you trying to become, like, those are not the kind of people that you need in your corner as you're focusing on self-betterment. And I'm not saying that these are examples of self-betterment. I think growth is very non-linear, but if this is growth for you, if being different from how you typically show up is growth for you, and someone wants to stomp you down for it, then those people, that's to go. It's time to be unapologetic about our stretch goals, about the ways that we want to show up. It's time to be unapologetic about the ways that we are different, about the ways that we take up space, about our individuality, unapologetic about the value that we bring, about the dreams that we have, all of the areas that make us stand out, that make people feel uncomfortable. And I think that that's what this all really comes down to, is all of the ways that your individuality can trigger someone else is not something that you need to apologize for. As long as you're not being harmful, you're not being destructive in the ways that you show up. If they're just seeing you and your life is irritating to them, like, that's their issue. That is not something to be apologetic about. And so we're not going to be. In 2024, the goal of this year is to just Be unapologetic about being you, about the things that attracts, about the ways that shows up, about the ways that shifts and changes the spaces that you want to be in, or the people that you want to align to. And as people see your growth and feel triggered, and feel alarmed, or feel intimidated, or feel fearful, that's not the path that they have embraced currently. Make that their own issue. You don't want anyone shaming you or guilt you or make you feel bad, or allow them to give criticism to you for pursuing growth and evolution for yourself. So that was the topic for today. Short and sweet, but hopefully impactful. But before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, and I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops largely focused on self-mastery over and above those events. So check it out. Be part of our game changer community. Be part of the change that you want to see, allowing us these small roles to play in your journey. In your own road to 1K, we do invite you to follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.